Change your mind.
Hello, hello, hello. All right. People will gather, and I will start. Hopefully, those who need it won't miss it. If they will miss it, they can find it later on YouTube. I will upload it. And also, who doesn't have a problem in A319 with the exterior sound, I advise you can watch it too. You may find something interesting. So this portion of stream will be dedicated to that, and then I'll turn it off, and then I'll resume streaming on a regular something else. So apparently nobody has a problem, because people coming in and leaving, and when the sound were released, there was a number of people running around screaming they had so much problem with the exterior sound. Okay, now I don't see that somebody has it. Okay, because there isn't such a problem. All right, and let me explain why. Foremost, a lot of people relying on previous models, and they were like, oh, well, I had A320 and A330 777, never had that problem. It was all super loud on the outside, etc, etc, etc. Let me tell you, these are old models, and the exterior sound for them is written incorrectly. There are mistakes there, so they will be fixed sooner or later. I just don't have time for this right now, and I will explain you why. I will even show you how this works. Okay. So, and another pre-word, let's say. So, if you want a good sound in your speakers or your headphones, you have to invest some money. Let me tell you this. But just plugging in USB, headphones, or just regular, or it could be even Bose, it could be Sennheiser, doesn't matter. Plugging into your computer without sound card, you will not have a good sound. Let me tell you this. This is all going to be quiet, especially headphones. Now, it could be other people that sitting from laptop and expecting a good sound. It's not going to be also. Guys, you need a good speakers. You need good monitor speakers to have a good outside sound if you don't use the headphones, because the sound was written pretty much on studio speakers on Rocket 6, and this is the most cleanest sound that you can produce ever. Okay, without any hollowness or without any taste to the sound, without any flavor to the sound. So clean, flat sound. Okay. So in order for you to have good, you need to, of course, invest a little bit into this, right? So you can either, if you are like sitting in headphones like I do right now, I use a Focusrite amplifier, which my headphones are connected to, which my microphone connected to, but this is just for the stream. And of course, that the same Focusrite, I'm using the same little amplifier I'm using as a sound card for my KRK Rocket 6. So you need that sound card. You need some type of amplifier, right? Or if you're using outside good speakers, you don't feel like you need it, it's okay. You can use it, but don't expect nothing good, nothing loud. All right, and I will. All right, so we'll move on later. Little technical details. Now, how was the previous models were written by BSS? I'll show you how. Let's take, for example, Boeing 777 plugins. We go to sound. I don't know if you can able to see this clearly. I'll use a magnifier glass for this when I need to point something in that's really important. All right, so go into external engine, go into sound, external sound. Okay. Now you see something here like these three digits right here. One of them says max distance, one of them says rollover factor, and the other one says reference distance. And I'll explain what this is. The pretty much three digits that respond for the loudness of the outside sound. There are other ones, which is volume, but this is all in limits, so there's nothing you can do there. So max distance, this is the distance, the maximum distance, I believe here is in meters, where from the place of source of the sound to that limit, this is how much where the sound would be heard, okay, by 0 meters where the sound is at, and 500 is where it no longer heard. Okay, and reference distance, this is in meters again. This is how much we can reference in meters from that small spot, 0 distance, like a radius around it, where the sound will be kept the same volume. So currently here says that radius of 15 meters around those engines in that plane, it has no drop at all of the sound, and this is incorrect. So you already have 15 meters of sound that is not dropping in volume. This is 15 meters is a long distance. Now, so basically from 15 meters up out, the sound starts to drop in this case, but it is not dropping naturally, like because the sound by the plugin is written by the natural dropout, like it is in reality. The sound fade, like in reality, by default. Here we're lying to the sound engine and telling no, you need to um, drop out in this distance, not in that distance. And roll-off factor is just pretty much like a factor, like a linear factor in this case, how the sound is gonna fade. So 1 is just default. It's gonna fade equally as a diagonal line from some number to 0. If I would say it's 2, it would be more inclined line so it will fade faster. So here is incorrect right away. 2 things. That is reference distance. That's pretty much we're telling that it's too much. It's big radius about the engines. The engines is what? The radius of the 777 engines is what? The radius of it. I would say maybe 4 meters, maybe at the most. So by putting something here like 5, that would be correct way. So reference distance 5 around the point of the sound. So let's say it's equally sounding the engine 5 meters around that small point. That would be the whole engine. And then max distance 500 is completely unneeded, because let me show you how it explain things, what it is. And part of this is my fault because I spoiled you guys with this. I spoiled you guys with this sound, and now some people believe that is how it's supposed to sound. No, it's not how it's supposed to sound. Here's a 777. And I'll even show you why. Now, in reality, okay, first of all, when there are documents in with the model, you're supposed to read what it says there, because there are crucial information about the level of sound in explain which is supposed to be followed. In case of A320, the sound was intended to use, if you want it to sound as the real volume inside of course inside of the plane, the real volume. And it even says in the manual, it's supposed to be whatever your card is you're using, or your master sounds is up all the way 100%, and the simulator 50% up. This is what you're gonna hear in a simulator inside a cockpit. Now this is supposed to be all the way up here. So keep in mind that some models change these dials. Like you can run like some of the FlyJ Sim models, or like TBM, or even what you call the Tolis model changes these levels. So after every plane, make sure these are all the way up. And if there is a dial inside the plane, make sure it's set as per manual in BSS. Okay, so that's really important thing. Okay, so in this case, it was, like I said, by default in A320 it's set to 100% here and 50 here. That way, inside of the plane, you will hear it as it is in the real world by decibels. Of course, outside will not be the same as real decibels and real. Your speakers are not capable of producing that loud. You understand that? Unless you have some crazy concert speakers. I don't know. I doubt you have that. So, let me show you what is the big mistake here. You see, it's loud, right? Loud enough. We go farther out. The sound fades. But guess what? It still stays the same. It does not fade out completely. It's not supposed to be like that. You see, even on the other side of the airport, you still hear it like it's 20 meters away from you. It's because the engine does not act correctly here by those numbers set. So this will be changed. This will be changed. Because in reality, guys, if you ever been in an airport environment across the fence, I'm there all the time. The aircraft sounds are only loud when you're too close to aircraft. They're starting to fade dramatically when you get away from them. Sometimes with a good wind, like 20 meters out from the jet engine, you cannot hear it anymore. You gotta understand this. And maybe you're spoiled by those incorrect less sound packs of BSS from the outside, I mean, perspective, where you got used to it. And this is not correct. So let me show you, for example. You see, he is currently here, like what? Around 200 feet away. And you faintly hear it. Just start to hear it. The camera is zoomed in right now, so he's gonna really fade. And wind is pretty much, I can't tell which direction it's here, but mostly I think it's calm wind. It's just good. The grass is moved by these ends. You see, it's passing by in really short. He's pretty. It's not even zoom here. He's really close by. So you see, he's standing by the fence. It's really close. You have about 50 feet to the taxiway there. You see, and now he's about like 200 feet away, 300 feet away, and you can't hear it anymore. Now he's ramping up, of course you're gonna hear it. And as soon as he covers about 500 feet, you can only hear like the roar, like the bass of it, like real loud bass, but none of that. But just like a turbulence of the air, which produced by those huge thrust. That's it. You won't feel it. You won't hear it across the field like it's here in the old packs. Now let me show you an examples of aircraft made by other companies with a good sound that I think that prove the same point. For example, let's pick FlyJ 727, 732, whatever, but with the running engines. So you can find a lot of these videos online. I'm not gonna do this right now, but trust me, it's only super loud when you're super close to the aircraft. I've literally like been standing by around 60 feet from 757, and on a windy day I could not, barely could hear when it's just on idling. So you see, when you're close, yeah, of course you're gonna hear it. When you're far out, let's say what you got, there's supposed to be numbers here. There's a 400 feet marker here. Or it's hold on, it's not 400. It's in thousands. Okay, so this distance here is about 500 feet. Now about so, I still think that this is too loud in him, but across the field you can't hear it, of course. You hear some like wind, whatever, some wind disturbance, you know, air disturbance. Sort of like that. Yeah, this is correct. Although I would have. These are loud engines, by the way. They're louder than CFM 56. Yeah, this is correct. So these are super loud engines, I tell you that. Now, let's get some smaller, like for example, like a helicopter by Dreamfoil, which also has a good sound. Can't say nothing bad about this. Again, close by, you can really hear it. On the time of a ramp, distance already faintly. Across the field, can't really hear much. Totally correct. That's the same volume I got here, which is set to 100% on the mixer on the system and 50% on the explain sound. That's how it is meant. Trust me, 50% is the correct sound here, correct level. Inside, perfectly. Okay. TBM. If I can find it. There we go. I don't have to start it again. Loads up pretty long time. Okay, so as you can see, all these models, they're correct. Yeah, we have to start it again. Oh no. let's make sure that we have it all correct. Yeah, okay. See? Far away, no longer. Just as it should be. I should say it could be even louder here. Like it could be like louder or like right here, but they decided to do such way. Not so people don't write, oh, it's too loud, because people will write it regardless of how you make it. You see? Correct. Okay, now let's see right now that A320 what has. Start with the engines running. This volume here by 50% set inside there, and if you set as correctly into all this open ISCS screen, the audio visually like it is here, master volume 100%, aural alert 100% for those who has problem in these like they don't hear the aural GPWS or EPWS, whatever. And something that you should not touch except the volume for passengers is here, which all set to 100 except people whenever it's needed, and weather it's 80. That's the only way. Both 100 and master internal external. Don't touch those. If you want to control volume, control it inside the explain, like mixer. I'm sorry, the Windows mixer, or in Mac, whatever you have, the external thing. This is the only correct way. So this would be too loud here, right? Because you can already tell. You see, this is too much. By such thing, you can tell. Like it's not clicking, but it's hitting metal of the pedestal, and it's too loud, right? Like this is too loud. Click or too loud. You can hear it. But now in 50% range, it's all correct because it's recorded per correct decibels. These are loud. When you put to idle like this loud. Correct switches. Correct volume of switch. Don't think switches are loud like too. Some of them are. It's heard as much as noise in your fingers. So this is all mastered. Trust me. As far as the engine and everything. It's all mastered for 50%. Okay, now if we go outside. I agree, this is a little bit low because why? I'll explain why. See, if we go far away, it fades correctly, because in here at the midfield you'll hear it barely when you're giving gas and stuff like that, right? But it's missing like turbulence. I'll show you. I'll fix it right now, so it will have like the turbulence sound. in the next update. But the sound fade is correct. The only thing is not correct here is that it's missing the turbulence sounds that's supposed to be much farther away, and the correct let me show you what I mean. Let's go to that CFG file. I'll show you exactly what I mean, but I already explained it to you how it works there, and it's the same deal here. External engine. Now this is what it's got right now. It doesn't have those digits, so it is by default how the sound is drawn by default. This is like directions, columns. It does not matter. All right. So when I will have the update in next update, what's gonna happen? Let me show you. This is just to change the aircraft. I have this sound in here. It goes to external. And see here what we have. We have roll-off factor of 2, so it fades away quicker, and reference distance of 5. So the reference distance, that's what I was saying. It's 5 meter distance radius around the engines. So this is correct here. But some of the engines will have, some of the sound samples will have a longer distance here. For example, some of them shorter. So longer distances will have sounds such as like that air turbulence I was telling you. This, for example, that XFR, right? It will have reference distance of 10 instead of 5, and roll-off factor of 1 instead of 2. So it will roll off farther down and have a bigger radius of initial sound. So that way you'll only hear in a distance that air turbulence. See what I mean? And of course that, you know, that huge air thing. Okay, so now we have this, but the rest of it is all the same. It's not gonna sound in the middle of the field. So it is correct, but just it's missing those two parameters, which I will add. But it's not gonna be too much loud. It's just gonna be correct turbulence sounds. All I'm trying to tell you is that your volumes and your gear is what you need to look after. So again, don't expect by plugging in some headphones inside of your computer and think that it's gonna sound good. No. You have to have a good sound setup in order to hear it good. Because it's some serious, sound hardware. Okay. Software, I mean. So now, see, when you come close to the engine, what happens? You hear it really loud, right? That's how it is in the real world. I hear myself now. Now if you move farther away, that's how it fades. This is like 100 feet around here. This is how it is in the real world, guys. Sorry, my headphones are jack is messed up. packs are always like that. Check. Okay. So, when you are farther away across the field, this is how you hear it. Across the airport, across the field, midfield. You hear some air, right? So it's depending where you at. You're gonna hear the loudness. Again, let me pause this. All right, again. So, like I was saying, some of you maybe missed it or not. When everybody was pushing me into release, writing me, please release. I will even use alpha, blah blah blah. You guys, you have to hear yourself now. You were pushing for release, and I released it, and I told, okay, I will release it, but the external sound for engines is not quite ready yet. That's what I was That's what I was telling all the time on the stream. That later it will be released. That later it will be fixed a little bit. Doesn't mean that it's not ready at all. It means that it needs to fine touch it. And by fine touches is what some of you think it's missing, maybe like a full roar, maybe some exact saw there or something like that. You know, this all takes time. If I would have continued working on external engines, you wouldn't see this back for another month or so. So, and then the same people, they come and they write crap on the page, like, well, despite even that what you got inside, they cross everything out, and now that because of that they don't hear 200 feet farther out as they supposed to. The whole pack is shit for them. So if it's that way for you, good. Delete the pack from your PC. I will return your money and prove me that you deleted it. Because I know some of the guys like that. They say they'll delete it, I'll return the money, and they'll continue using it. Because of course they will continue using it. This is good sound pack. So I hope I let you understand these things, what you need, how sound works, and what you need to do. Is first and foremost, get the correct hardware. Laptop speakers, cheap headphones plugged into computer without sound card, not gonna sound as you think they would. You need some sort of amplifiers. You need some sort of like Focusrite, whatever, or a sound card, whatever you need. But you need something. If you want good sound, and you invest into the sound pack for this plane. If you love sound, you're supposed to have something that produces good sound. You cannot make magic even with this sound pack on shitty speakers. It's not other dimension. So this is for first and foremost. The second, follow the all documents. Make sure you read all documents inside. And by all I mean all, not just that it says installation. You have here what? You have here features, you have installation, you have volume settings. All of this is here. Read all of this carefully. I guarantee you have solved half of your problem there. And if at least half of people would read it, there would be such questions. When I already have too many questions like where's PTU, and look, we are open FAQ, and first thing we see why I can't hear PTU, and it explains why. Or why engine sounds so high, why I can't hear PACs and Cockpit, why engine sounds so low. That's the second thing. Make sure it's all set. The volumes are set per so. It also says that you can't use any 5171 crap. This 5.17.1 crap is all nothing but illusion. This is monetized marketing way for companies to get money from you. Except if you have real 5.1 system in your house and you're watching something that was made for that, only then it matters. That package wasn't made for 5.1 because it doesn't need to. It's simple stereo. I don't even think the Explain can handle that. Alright, now, and the third thing. What is the third thing? Yeah, keep in mind that this is still in development. A lot of the stuff that here in this plane I could not produce because I don't have correct data refs. I don't have correct ways because the plane was made so. So I made what I could from this plane. Okay. And by in future when they develop this plane, when they, for example, made certain system that I can use it, then I will use it. I did not put my GPWS system RL in here because I don't have nowhere to tie it to. So this is why I'm using the default, which we can find here. In here, our alert volume. This is here. Yeah, and like a chat says, people want to invest, so here it is. Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm just explaining the whole situation because some people causing too much noise, unneeded noise that I can throw off other people opinions without understanding why. So in next update, I will make this. I will work, of course, on external engines so they sound better, and that was meant by me the first day. I said, because my sound packs, I'm flying inside. I don't know about these people that fly outside. That's their that's their deal. Whatever they want to, if they want to fly from ground, they can fly from ground. Like watch it, the aircraft as an RC. I don't care about this. Okay, this is your way of using it. You use it how you want it. But I'm telling how it was for myself. The sound pack for me is most important is what's inside the plane, because we are as a pilot, we are inside the plane. So this is the doesn't mean that the outside would be not created or created bad. It means that I will get the insides first to sound good. Create the inside and then move on the outside. The outside is the finish line. What I do. starting from the engines up to the systems and all. Okay, and it's all down here. It just needs fine tuning. That's all it is, and that's gonna be a next update. And again, the only reason why I even did this that way, that because all people asking for release. Shutdown process? What do you mean shutdown process? Shutdown of what? Of the aircraft or the sound system or whatever? Well, when you're done using this aircraft and you shut it down, what these sliders do to get the shutdown announcements from the shutdown announcements. There's no shutdown announcements. Let me open the manual. I'm not sure where you get this shutdown stuff. It says at the gate, when parking brake cassette chokes inserted, after shutdown both engines, turn off beacon lights and will initiate arrival cross check. Open left door ATC switch to below. That will initiate onboarding process. Deboarding. Oh yeah, well ATC. So, as it says here, if you take time to read it carefully, it's all self-explanatory. There's nothing hard. You shut down the engine. Okay, you're at the gate, whatever. You need some sort of GPU. Open the door. So your door is open. Where's your passengers? Beacon off. And see, she said, open and prepare doors for arrival. As soon as you switch the beacon off, she said that. Then you open the door. After your beacon switches off, right? No, we already opened the door. But it says here, turn off beacon lights off first. We did that. Then we should have opened the door. Set switch to below. See, above, below. ATC switch to below. And then you hear them unbuckling their seat belts. And that's it. Nothing more. When you want passengers to completely stop sounding, turn off the seatbelt sign and return that ATC switch to normal or above. And here it is. No more sounds anywhere. And then when you are about to quit, the plane. Return the people slider to 0 as there's no passengers. Close the sound volume thing, and for example, you want to fly some different aircraft after this, like Cessna or whatever. You choose your aircraft. Um, it's because some AI aircraft around. It's a known explained bug. Like you can't load up your Cessna when there's other Cessnas around. It's crazy. Okay, so when I'm gonna restart. So when you want to use other aircraft, make sure that your explain sliders are all 100%. That's for other planes. If you only fly A320, you don't have to worry about anything because they'll keep they'll keep it there the same way as you set them initially. Because that green panel ISCS is what sets the explained volumes here. That's how it works in Tolis. That's how Tolis gets their sound. But our sound, Blue Sky Star, we are independent of that. We're independent of those sliders because we have our own sliders. The only that why I'm telling you to keep this at 100 is because the other aircraft that we fly, it depends on that. So you set that all to 100, and when you set it all in ICS, that's how ICS sets it here. So that's how it is needed there. Let it be. But when you want to fly another aircraft, set it all back. Then when you're gonna fly A320s, it's gonna be set automatically, so it won't spoil anything. You don't need to mess with those. Just you make sure that you put them back up to 100% so you can hear other planes when you fly other planes after that one. And that's kind of stupid. If program writes this kind of stuff, I don't understand. It should have, by when you're done using the plane, you should get this all back. But let's explain. That's how it's made. Okay, so I hope I explained this for you. What you're gonna hear, so you don't tell me that you promised you're gonna get the volume back and I don't hear anything. You don't hear anything because A, your speakers are incapable of it, or headphones. B, because you didn't follow the correct manual. C, because you have wrong interpretation of how aircraft sounds, because a lot of people do have it, because in real life they don't touch it. They only touch them as a passenger, and they think that if I fly in a mid-wing section of cabin at A320 and I hear PTU barking, that means I always hear it in cockpit and everywhere. No, guys, you don't hear it in cockpit, and it is also explained in a manual. I try to cover these things because way too many people think it's supposed to sound in cockpit. Trust me, I was creating this pretty much sound pack because it's migrating from plane to plane, but it's been developing 6 years. I know what I'm doing here, and I know what every sound inside here is represent and why it's so. So there's no technical mistakes here. because I get all, like, for example, this person comes and says, well, he gives me the video of some sound engine of the plane and says, well, it's different when the buzz saw is different here. Then it does not matter to him that buzz saw starts at around 75 and ends at around 100. And by looking at the video, he doesn't know what percent the thrust set is to. B, that he doesn't know on what it was recorded. And I guarantee you can record one plane in different hardware like cell phone, camera, professional equipment, and it all sound different. It all will sound different. And he's trying to compare it with this. I mean, come on. Keep it. Let it. Let it to me, okay? Trust me. When I create this engine, I know what I did. This is. Let me show you some here. By that, I mean that every and each single line here, and there's too many like black lines because just colors just ended because there's so many, represent each sample of the engine, just the engine. And the inclination of those lines is not random. I didn't random put it so and be like, well, that's gonna sound this way. It is all here because it was compared to real thing. If it's 50 here, if you want to prove something, find something where it shows with the N1. Okay, let's go see CFM 56 run up. See, it says engine high power around at 60. Okay, let's go there. Even though it's kind of bad in the background, but you can hear it. You hear it? 60. Only this is bad. This is better quality here, of course. This was recorded on a left sandal or something. I don't know. But you can hear it's the unison, 1-to-1. And trust me, every step here has been checked. So if it sounds so, that means it has to sound like that. So don't think I'm just randomly put these sound pack and be like, well, here, use it. I think it's supposed to sound like this. No, I don't think it's supposed to sound. It does sound like this. For everybody else who's enjoying it, thank you for being a customer, and for those who don't enjoy it, thank you for being a customer too. But just some reality check for you. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna shut down this stream right now so I can later upload it to YouTube and restart the stream in 1 minute. Okay, thank you.